Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Real quick, just before we start today's video, I wanted to point out to everyone that we are now launching our YouTube membership program. So if you look below where the subscribe button is, you'll see a join button next to it. That should be both on the video itself and on my channel page. So feel free to click that join button if you're interested in more info. I've also got linked in the description my announcement video, which goes into much more detail about what that's all about. So just real quick, wanted to once again just point out to those who have not seen that yet, though that is now an option. Anyway, thanks for listening. Now onto today's video. Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. Got another Master Duel video for you. Finally coming back to Salamangreat. This is a deck that I think of the stuff that came out in, not this past selection pack, but the one before, was probably my most favorite new deck to play. Or I guess new deck with new support, to be more apt. Salamangreat is a deck that I enjoyed very much playing in the past, but felt like the deck's main combo line lacked a lot of oomph. In the past, it honestly felt like the best thing Salamangreat could do was update Jammer access code for the OTK. But now, things are so much better for Salamangreat now. This is a deck that finally feels like it has its own identity, not relying on the back of generic Cyberse extra deck monsters like a lot of other Cyberse decks. And also on top of that, it not only can play without that Cyberse stuff, but it makes really, really good plays without that Cyberse stuff. So the particular version of the deck that I'm playing here, because there's actually a lot of different ways that you can build Salamangreat, I'm trying out the Speedroid package of 3 Speedroid Terratop and Takaton Borg. Just as an aside, I am so glad this card went to 3. This was, like, I think in hindsight, one of my favorite unhits that Master Duel has ever done, right? Taking a limited card or semi-card and putting it back to 3, because Terratop allows you to do so many cool things as a just neat little engine in decks like this, or anything that wants to make a rank 3 or adventure decks to make sure Beanie, so on and so forth. So anyway, now that I've gushed about Terratop and how much I love it, its specific role in this deck is to make the Salamangreat Mirage Stalio, which, while this card does fire lock you when you activate the effect, it itself is actually a completely generic rank 3. Any 2 level 3 monsters. You'd think it'd be 2 level 3 fire or Salamangreat monsters or something, but nope. Mirage Stalio is generic, meaning you can just use Terratop and go straight into it. Mirage Stalio, of course, is one of the cornerstones of Salamangreat's ability to combo. On top of that, we also have the Lady Debugs. So, as far as, like, I know I talked a lot about when we first covered this deck, playing 3 Lady Debug versus playing 3 Salad of Fire. I'm mostly on 3 Lady Debug because that's still the way I'm most familiar with comboing, right? Like, I don't have the line of if you open a normal Salad of Fire, like, memorized 100% off the top of my head. I could find a way to get to, like, you know, if nothing else, Raging Phoenix plus Roar. But I'm talking about, when I say full combo, I mean also setting up the Pyro Phoenix, which this is also something I don't see in like every single Salamangreat build, which makes sense. It is fairly optional, and it is also 2 more URs, which is why I think a lot of the time people might not want to go out of their way to try it. However, I still maintain that if you're gonna play this deck, especially in Master Duel, I really do think that the Pyro Phoenix line is the way to go. There are safer lines where you can play under Nibiru, but that line will just end you on Raging Phoenix plus Roar, which is really not much better than the old Salamangreat end board of Sunlight Wolf plus Roar. I just don't find it that particularly impressive, right? But if you go for the kind of like full combo line, then you can end on Raging Phoenix plus Roar plus Pyro Phoenix with the Code of Soul set up in the graveyard to go for another Pyro Phoenix for a board wipe. And you also get Salamangreat Rage, which, being able to pop 4 cards with the second effect targeting Raging Phoenix, also effectively makes it a board wipe. So, you know, play under Nib, get 1 Omni, or don't play under Nib, get 2 board wipes plus an Omni. I think I'm definitely going to go with the latter. Even in Master Duel, where, like, you know, there's Max C, which draws into Nib, I still think this is the way to do it. Honestly, I think this is the way to do it in Master Duel, specifically because the format is best of 1. In best of 3, I can kind of see this game plan not being as effective. And this kind of build is definitely made a lot more for the turn 1 combo. I will say that this deck, in my experience, kind of struggles a little bit going second, and it's almost enough to make you miss the access code. It really is. I've thought about playing World Sea Dragons the Atlantis to help with OTKs when going second. That is definitely a card that does see play in this deck sometimes, but I don't know. I like this extra deck quite a bit here. If I was going to play the Atlantis, I don't even know. Would I have to cut Little Knight? I might. It's either that or Wicked. I think Wicked is probably too important, so I don't know. But in any case, yeah, I think that if you are on the Speedroid package, then you don't need Lady Debug quite as much. Like, I think if you're playing Speedroids, you could definitely get away with 3 Salad of Fire. I mean, in general, you can definitely get away with playing 3 Salad of Fire and not going for the Lady Debug package. In fact, you can see, I'm not even on Salad of Fire at only 1 copy because I only own 1. I do own a full playset of Salad of Fire, and I still personally choose to go for Lady Debug. Lady Debug is also a full combo by herself. I've seen people say that she's not, but she is. I don't know where that misconception comes from, because you can normal summon Lady Debug, link for Baylings, Baylings search the Sanctuary, activate Sanctuary, Sanctuary F for another Baylings. Oh, and then of course use the Debug to search the Gazelle, right? Then you can special Gazelle, send Spinny, special Spinny, go for Mirage Stalio, then pull out Salad of Fire, then add Weasel, and it's like, yeah, that's your setup for your full combo right there. So, again, I don't know why people are out here saying Lady Debug is not a full combo by herself. It is. That's why I like her so much. I think people don't like it because it uses 2 Banelinks and also the Sanctuary effect really early. But if you go off uninterrupted, you're going to have the Code of Soul effect later anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much if you use Sanctuary early. I also don't think burning through both of your Banelinks on turn 1 is necessarily a bad thing. You could also just play a third... I'm not even on 3 Banelinks, which I think most builds are, because I own 3 Raging Phoenix, so I decided to just play a playset of that. But if you're really worried about that, you could also just play a third Banelink. So, yeah, I think that Lady Debug is still quite good. I think in the future, I do still want to try a build on 3 Salad of Fire, just to get a feel for it. I'm very much a person, not only when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh!, but in life in general, where I'm like, don't knock it till you try it. So, I do still plan on trying a build with 3 Salad of Fire at some point in the future, but for now, with my current perspective, I kind of can't see why you wouldn't play Lady Debug. But again, that's just my current perspective. I am certainly open to changing my mind in the future. So yeah, the Speedroid package is the big new addition for this particular build. Otherwise, the main and extra deck are pretty much exactly the same as they were last time around. So in that regard, I don't really have too much else to say about the deck as a whole. I have noticed that the play rate has dropped, as I expected it would, you know. I had about a 6% play rate on Untapped when it first came out, and it had that new deck hype, and now it's down to 3%. A little sad, but expected. But I will say, don't sleep on Salamangreat. Like, it's one of those upper rogue decks that could very easily be considered tiered if more people played it, right? I guess when I think about whether a deck is rogue or tier 3, tier 1, I not only factor in the power level, but also its popularity or representation, like how often is this deck actually getting played. Its current representation, I think, does put this deck in upper rogue, but in terms of power level, I think this is a solid tier 3 deck. I think, you know, there's even an argument that, like, it could maybe even be a lower tier 2 deck on power level alone, but I think what mainly keeps it in tier 3 is, again, the fact that it's so much stronger going first than going second that I think that's what kind of holds it back and keeps that tier 3. But again, you know, I do think it is still a very, very good deck. So let's break down the list card by card and then look at some duels here, shall we? We're on 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Max C, 1 Salamangreat of Fire, 3 Speedroid Terratop, 1 Speedroid Takatomborg, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Salamangreat Foxy, 3 Salamangreat Gazelle, 2 Salamangreat Spinny, 1 Salamangreat Weasel, 1 Code of Soul, 3 Lady Debug, 1 Salamangreat Jack Jaguar, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 2 Signet Mining, 1 Salamangreat Sanctuary, 1 Will of the Salamangreat, 2 Call by the Grave, 3 Salamangreat Circle, 1 Cross-Out Designator, 3 Infinite Permanents, 1 Salamangreat Rage, and then 1 Salamangreat Roar. That's it for our 42 card main deck. We're also on 42 cards, by the way, because we definitely don't want to open Speedroid Takaton Borg. That's kind of the only card we really don't want to open, but I thought it was enough to put the deck over 40 all the same. Anyway, for the extra deck, we're on 1 Brotherhood of the Firefist Horse Prince, 1 Salamangreat Mirage Shalio, 2 Salamangreat Balinx, 1 Cyrus Wicked, 2 Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, 1 Hita the Fire Charmer Ablaze, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames, 2 Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix, 3 Salamangreat Raging Phoenix is going to round out the extra deck there. That'll be it for the list. Let's see some duels. Okay, our first opponent is going to be on Labyrinth, and this should be a game where we show off a pretty typical turn 1 combo line for Salads, or Salamangreat. Alright, we actually have a lot of options to start off with here, opening Foxy, Spinny, and Signet Mining. I'm going to lead by normal summoning Foxy. I mostly wanted to see if that would bait out like Ash or Veiler or Imperm. It doesn't, so I'm going to use Signet Mining, Pitch Spinny, and then of course add the Gazelle. We can then use the Gazelle effect because we just sent Spinny to the yard. I'll send a Jaguar because I already have Spinny in the yard and Roar in hand. Those are the 2 main things you would want to send off of the Gazelle. Gonna link off the Gazelle into Balinx and then add the Salamangreat Sanctuary. I get to use the Jaguar effect, although I should not have here probably because that's just going to put the Gazelle back into my deck. I did kind of want to add that back to hand off of Sunlight Wolf, but no such luck. I could have just summoned a Spinny too, so yeah, I should not have summoned Jaguar when I did, but it's not, again, it's not that big of a deal. I still have the ability to make a Mirage Shalio, which I'll do here, and then detach to summon Salamangreat of Fire. Salamangreat of Fire is going to be what you summon off of Mirage Shalio most of the time, and most of the time you're going to use to add the Weasel. Alright, now we can make our Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames. Use her effect in order to bring back the Foxy. We can also go ahead and throw down the Weasel while we're at it. And then synchro the Weasel and the Foxy, or really any level 3 non-tuner, for the Brotherhood of the Firefist Horse Prince. This is going to be what allows us to pull out the Code of Soul from the deck here. Code of Soul, we're going to use the effect to make sure we get an extra Link Summon. Don't necessarily have to use Sanctuary for that. Now we're linking off into the Raging Phoenix. And we get to extra link the Raging Phoenix using Code of Soul / Sanctuary, either or, to go for another Raging Phoenix. This will, of course, activate the bonus effect. And we're also going to activate the Weasel effect as well to bring back the Balinx to our opponent's side of the field. Drawing a Gazelle there was very nice. Oh, and also I'm going to search Rage, because I already have Roar in hand. So, basically, if I didn't have Roar in hand already, I would have sent it off Gazelle instead of the Jaguar, and then added it, or set it off its own effect when I summoned Raging Phoenix. Either way, I am going to search Rage here, so. Alright, Promethean Princess comes back by its own effect because we put Balinx on the opponent's board. Raging Phoenix summons off its own effect, and then now I can turn Promethean Princess plus Code of Soul into the Pyro Phoenix. Set 2, and there you go. That is the full turn 1 combo for Salamangreat, which again, yeah, this plays into Nibiru, but again, the combo line, if you don't play into Nib, if you go out of your way to play around it, it just ends on Raging Phoenix plus Roar. I just think that's really, really weak. Even if you do have the Promethean Princess in the yard, I think that's incredibly weak. But here, we not only have an extra body, but we also have the Rage, which can pop 4 cards, the Pyro Phoenix, which can pop the whole board as well. So, just so much extra disruption for again, not playing around Nibiru, which I think is worth it. Here, I'm going to Veiler the Ariana as soon as that comes down. Oh, I didn't realize they conceded so quickly. For some reason, I had a memory of my opponent, like, setting 4, and then moving to the end of main, and then when I did that, I Pyro Phoenix and they conceded. But I guess to be fair, that's just how this game would have played out, right? If my opponent had not surrendered, they probably would have, again, set a bunch of cards, end of the main. We could even wait till the end phase and use the Rage instead of the end of the main. But I think it doesn't really matter. Either way, we could end of main, Code of Soul effect, summon the Pyro Phoenix, blow up their board, and then we are all set with that. I mean, either way, again, we got the win here. So, yeah, again, that's what I consider to be, although kind of not the most traditional way to go about it, a pretty typical end board and setup for the Salamangreat deck. So, yeah, there is that one. And also the reason why I'm wondering what you do when you open Solidifier is because, again, summoning Solidifier off that Mirage Shalio to search the Weasel is such a crucial part of the line that I'm familiar with. But, of course, I'm sure there are other combo lines out there. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at our next game. Alright, for this one, we're playing against Gishki Sprite, which I think might be historically one of the most underrated decks in all of Master Duel. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, everyone was all hyped up for it as it was about to come out, and then it came out, and then nobody talked about the deck anymore. Which is weird because I think it is a very, very good Sprite variant. I think it's only a little bit behind Twin Sprite, which is, in my opinion, the best Sprite variant because it has the most one-card combo lines and room for hand traps. But, yeah, don't sleep on Gishki Sprite. This deck is incredibly good. Anyway, here we get to lead with Lady Debug. And as I said before, Lady Debug is by herself a full combo line. We simply add the Gazelle, link draw for Balinks, Balinks for Balinks, then we can summon Gazelle, Gazelle send Spinny, Spinny effect to bring itself back, and then we get nipped. So, yeah, alright, here in this one instance, I will say that, like, okay, this is what happens when you don't play around Nibiru, but honestly, I really think that and it is very rare circumstance where this does happen, is worth it. Like, let's be real, a lot of the time your opponent goes into Nib, it's going to be off of Maxi, and you're just probably not going to play into the Maxi in general, meaning the best way for Nib to stop you is for them to hard open it, like our opponent did here, and the odds of that are just incredibly low. Most decks only play one Nib if they play it at all, and furthermore, like on top of that, there are some very, very niche instances where you could potentially have the ability to play through a Nib. I think you would have to have, like, Circle or Will that's not part of your combo line already. Also, I don't remember conceding that quickly. Again, these games are going by a lot faster than I thought. Although, to be fair, as soon as the Jet came down and they activated it, I think I conceded because I'm like, okay, they can just grab Gamma Burst. But, I don't know. I am also the one who's always like, you should play it out, right? I guess here in this case, even if they don't grab Gamma Burst, though, like, they have 5 bodies on board, which already total up to 3k, plus this is about 3,500. So, like, that's already pretty close to 7,000 damage on board by itself. It's like, I trust my opponent is smart enough to figure out how to find lethal here. But, yeah, no, so here we didn't even really get to see Gishki Sprite do any of its, like, unique stuff. But I think I maintain my point that Gishki Sprite is very underrated. I did also include this game, even though it was short, to throw in a little bit of self-imposed hubris here. Like, because I'm sitting here talking about, like, oh, it's fine to not play around Nib, and then we got nibbed. But, again, I do think that is relatively rare in the grand scheme of things. Anyway, I do have another game for us to watch, so let's see that one. Alright, we're up against Zark/Pendulum Magician for this one. I was about to say again, but then I was like, no, that was 2 videos ago, but I'm just recording a lot of videos in the same day, so. Okay, here we get to go first, and we do open the Speedroid engine. Not ideal to open Takatom and Terratop, but you know what? It's better than opening Takatom board by itself. Very great Foxy here. We're going to use it to find a Gazelle, but it's going to Droll and Lockbird. That's certainly not ideal. This deck does, of course, do a lot of searching, including for Sanctuary, which I now can no longer add. However, we are still able to find some plays here. Despite the fact that we're going to get hit with a Veiler here, too. Don't ever Veiler the Gazelle, by the way. If you have Veiler or Imperm, I would definitely just save it for Mirage Stalio. Like, I think that is by far the deck's, one of the deck's biggest choke points is the Mirage Stalio. I think my opponent, again, definitely should have saved it for that, but here I can use Mirage Stalio, And instead of pulling out the Salamangreat of Fire to add Weasel, again, because we're under Droll and Lockbird, I'm going to pull out the Weasel directly, and then use that to synchro for the Horse Prince. Now I can use Horse Prince to summon out the Code of Soul, and then I can use Code of Soul to get my extra Link summon that I might need this turn. Okay, gonna go for Sunlight Wolf, and then link off the Code of Soul for Balinks, just to mostly proc the Sunlight Wolf effect here, to add back Gazelle for follow-up plays. Now I can turn those two into the Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess doesn't have anything in particular to bring back here, so yeah, I'm just gonna get Sunlight Wolf. And then link off into Pyro Phoenix. So, this end board doesn't look like much. You might be thinking, well, Hex, you don't have your Salamangreat Sanctuary in play, so why end on Pyro Phoenix? Because you can't, you can't use the Code of Soul effect with your current board state to summon another Pyro Phoenix. No, but what I can do is summon Promethean Princess on my opponent's turn, popping the Sunlight Wolf, right? Then I can actually do my board wipe, because the way that Salamangreat, Pyro Phoenix, and all the other Salamangreat Link and Extract monsters are worded is it says, if this card is Link summoned using Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix as material. It doesn't specify that Pyro Phoenix is the only material. If I link off Pyro Phoenix with a Link 3, like the Promethean Princess, then I do still get the board wipe effect. That's also on top of having Valor and Max C, by the way. And also the Promethean Princess pop itself as well, right? So, I do think that we have quite a bit more disruption here than it might look like. I'm going to Max C as soon as the Pendulum Scale is set. They do have a call by for that, which is, of course, not ideal, but it is what it is. Alright, call by on the Valor. Wisdomize is going to activate the Pend effect, popping it to place the Supreme King Gate, which pops it to summon itself to summon the 0. Or not the gate, hang on, what is this one called again? No, it is Supreme King Gate Magician. And then that pops itself for the Supreme King Gate 0. That's what it is, okay. Looks like they also have Supreme King Dragon Lightworm, which this card I was not as familiar with. I have not seen this card as often as a lot of the other new Pendulum supports. So, I wasn't sure exactly what they were going to add with it, but I'm like, you know, I'll just Valor it, why not? Keep them off searching. Alright, here they're going to do the Pendulum Summon for 2, because I have a Link zone, or a Link marker that's pointing to one of their zones. Alright, and now when they link off for Electromite, this is where I'm going to throw out my Promethean Princess, because it won't stop the first Electromite effect, but it will stop the other ones, and we can even chain block the Princess with the Pyro Phoenix effect, although I don't think there's really much need to do that here. It's so nice to be able to. Alright, so there goes the Electromite. They get to place the Astrograph Magician, but now not do any of the other effects. And as mentioned before, now I have my setup to do the Code of Soul, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to link Princess and Pyro Phoenix into another Pyro Phoenix. And, yep, because I used Pyro Phoenix as a material, I get the board wipe. Lightworm gets to come back to hand, but they don't have a normal summon left, so they have no choice but to pass right back over to me. Alright, gonna draw for a turn, then normal summon the Gazelle, and then they just concede right there. I'm trying to think, I mean, I should have been able to find lethal, I think, still, but like, I had a, I did not have a Spinny in the yard, so I could have sent a Spinny, potentially gone into place from there, maybe gone into, I don't know though, actually, like a Sunlight Wolf, like, basically I would have tried to have, I think, gone for a Raging Phoenix, but this is actually kind of what I'm talking about, too, when I say that, like, I think Salamangreat has a bit of a time going second, even when you do have plays available, like, finding 8,000 damage, unless there's some going second line I'm just not aware of, which could very easily be the case, finding 8,000 damage can sometimes be a little bit of an issue with this deck, I've noticed, even when, again, you have, free reign to combo, more or less, with the Gazelle and our opponent not having any disruption or anything. I'm a little glad they conceded, honestly, in that regard. But we did also have the Roar. Like, even if they had a follow-up turn, we had the Omni, if nothing else, and then I think we should have had the ability to make a Raging Phoenix as well pretty easily. We're out of Balinks as a Search Sanctuary, though. Anyway, there are a number of ways that game could have played out, but they surrendered, so we didn't have to think. Yay! All right, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you, as always, as ever, for watching. Let us move now to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free, and if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up, and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out, but more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.